Okay, let's have a little fun this morning. This is March 2nd, and we're going to shoot this stage configuration tonight. It's a big stage. Uh, I call it a mega stage because we can run it so many different ways. We're going to leave this configured for stage 1 and 2. I'm also going to use this in upcoming training clinics because there's so many different ways to shoot this that it gives you a real thorough understanding of the current IDPA rules and how you can plan to run a stage and then execute it, and some of the pros and cons um, in those different plans. So you're going to start loaded to division capacity back here behind this left side of the wall, and both hands will be on this rope. So you can move right and left here as long as you can get both hands on that rope. It's just like touching the marks, but it makes it a little easier, and it allows you to space off of the wall just a little bit when you're starting, which can be really helpful not to crowd cover. So we have 8 paper targets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then in the back there, that's 2 of them vertical. Now, because they're vertical, that means they're equal priority. Even though they're being shot from cover, right or left, you can shoot the top one first or the bottom one first. That's what I mean by equal priority. Tactical priority, whether you're from cover or in the open, all it means is you're shooting the most important target first and the least dangerous one last. And from cover, say it's the left side, you're slicing the pie inward. Same as from this side, you're slicing the pie inward. Whenever you're in the open, though, it's near to far. And that's just the way the game works. That's not always a perfect answer in the real world, but it does follow some rough tactical principles, okay? And that's the way the game works. All right, so we're started here with division capacity. What that means is that we're loaded and holstered. So there is one extra round in the chamber, but the magazine, the magazine that's in the gun has, for example, Carry Optics has 10 in the magazine plus the one in the chamber, and then the two 10-round magazines on the belt. So 10, 10, 10 plus that round in the chamber. If you get that confused, you may start with the wrong number of rounds, and the safety officer will count that while you're shooting and give you a 3-second penalty because you weren't loaded properly on the start. Everybody has to be loaded properly for your division. So, all right. So we're started on the center. Now, how am I going to shoot this? Well, there's the best 2 shots per paper. I've got 11 in my first mag. I could just lean to the left on the start and take these 2 targets from left to right. That's 4 rounds. And then I just skip these for now. We're going to come back by and get them. Then I can run to this position, and from cover, I could take as few or as many targets as I want from this position. Now, this target's only available from this position. So you've got to at least take that one while you're here. So let's just say that 2, 4, 6, and then 7 would be the steel. And then let's say I just go that deep. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7. I just go to the steel there, and then I take off this direction. Now I could stop here and go 9 and then 11. And if I was perfect round count, I would run dry after shooting this target on the inside of cover here. So again, that's on the start signal beep, 2, 4, run to here, 6, 7, run to here, 9, 11. But there's some risk involved in that if the gun malfunctions, or if you need an extra round, say you missed the steel, then you're going to be a little bit short. Okay. So after that, I reload on the way from here to this position, and hopefully I arrive here reloaded with the gun up high, and then I can take my final shots of the stage, which would be 2, 3 on the steel, and then 5, 7 to finish off on those middle targets. And what I would probably do is, as I come into this one, I would take the bottom target because it's the most wide open to, get started on that array. And then I would go up and very carefully finish off, maybe put 3 shots on the top one since it's half black, and put 3 shots to make sure I get my hits there. So that's my first plan, and I would visualize this over and over before I walk up to shoot. And when I walk up to shoot and start, I would already have this rehearsed out, not talking to anybody, making sure everything's perfect in my gear and in my head before I walk up. And then I would go beep, 2, 4, 6, 7, run to here, 9, 11, reload on the way to here, and then 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, getting that extra round on the top. So that's one way to run it. Now, I could sort of do the same thing and shift that the other way and go out this way. That's possible, but say I ran to this, or double stepped over to this position and took just these 2, 2, 4, then come to here, 6, 7, and then, come to here, 9, 11, come to here and finish off. What I like though is that this target on this side, I'm noticing, is only 5 yards away. This one's got a non-threat and it's about 7 yards away. So this is real close to the wall, this gap. This one's got a lot more space. It just seems like this is a better side, especially if you're a right-handed shooter, to finish off all the way to the center. Yeah, you could even go all the way to the center and barely reach this other steel from here. So there are some options. Now let's sort of change this up and let's shoot it quite a different way. I'm started here with my 11 rounds. On the start signal, I knock out this flap and I take all 4 of these targets, 2, 4, 6, 8, from this side of the stick. So I move in, knock out the window, 2, 4, 6, 8. Now I could dump 2 extra rounds and reload on the way to here, and I would be able to finish the stage out without putting a reload on the clock. I would be able to reload from here to here, therefore blending that reload time into the whole stage without causing extra time taken. So that would be a good. Now I could also go on the start signal, knock the window out, go 2, 4, 6, 8, and do a retention reload on the way to here and take just 8 shots, come in reloaded with 11 and finish out. And what that would look like is I would come in here and I would probably go, I'm reloaded, so I would go 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, and then I would run as hard as I could over this line to here and just come in and take that one target on that side and finish up. So, because this is a little bit cramped over here, I'd rather just take this one close target, just come in here and slam that target. All right, so that's definitely a way of doing it. Just a bunch of different ways to do it. So by taking these targets all four through the window. Now, here's the thing that can happen is when you open this flap, whichever side that you're on when you open it. So if you're one or both feet are on the right side of this stick and not touching the ground on this side when you pop the window open, you're basically shooting from the other side of cover from left to right on this side. If you open it on this side, you're slicing the pie. If you've got a foot on each side of the stick when you shoot, that's a penalty. Okay, so but it really the way that you slice the pie is determined by which side of this stick you're on when you pop that flap open. Now, if that flap was not there, anytime you pass that position, you would have to take it from this side if you were coming this way. If you were coming the other way, you would have to take it the other way. But in this case, you're starting here. As soon as you're exposed, you'd have to take them in this direction. Does that make sense? So there's some strategies here on starting these. Now, what if you just on the start signal took off to here without taking any of these? Well, you'd get a penalty because anytime there's a position of cover to take some targets from the cover and you bypass that, you get a penalty because you've exposed yourself out here in this open area to these threats instead of taking them from cover. So if you exit one way or the other, you're going to have to take the first two targets at least. Now, if you go to this position, you won't be able to see these targets. They're going to be blocked by that barrel, those two sets of barrels. So if you just go this way, you're going to have to take these, then go out. And then as you come back across, you'd have to stop at this position to take these and then go across. So those are some of your choices. And of course, going as deep or shallow into here as you feel like. And so that's at least about 4 or 5 ways that you can shoot this stage. And you could go on the start, you could go left side all the way to the right side and then roll out. You wouldn't even have to open the window. So there's that time consideration of opening the window and the complexity to it. And when you walk through the stage, you may find that it looks a little better and more open to shoot them from here than here, or compared here to here. So there sometimes you'll arrange the targets where there's only a headshot from here, but you have a little bit more open body from here. So there's those considerations, and whether it has a non-threat or not, or how far away it is. So I hope that will help some people, especially the newer shooters who are trying to figure out the IDPA rules and come up to speed a little bit quicker. Um, it's frustrating when you come to matches and you get a lot of different penalties. If you uh, drop a magazine with a round in the magazine when it hits the ground and you don't pick it back up, that's a 3-second penalty usually. And there's other, having the round count, the wrong number of rounds in your magazine when you start, those types of things. Coming into these positions and slicing the targets from the wrong way, not from the outside in, but starting inside and then cutting out. That may work in USPSA and some of the other shooting sports, which is a good strategy. But here it's sort of a tactical pretend game here. I won't say it's like the real world, but it just sort of imitates the real world in principles, and that's changed over the years. We used to not years ago. We used to not have see-through snow fence on the walls. That was not the way that they did it. We used to not have cover lines sticks to mark cover. It used to just be a judgment call, and you stutter stepped around taking these targets from cover, but it was very uh, inconsistent in how different people would call those angles. So they changed it to this. Um, anyway, hope that was helpful. See many of you tonight.